episode of the Silent Conversations podcast. It's your brother, Mr. West, tapping in with you as always. I appreciate you tapping in to the Silent Conversations podcast where we speak about self development, self improvement, how we go from point A to point B and everything in between, and how we learn the lessons to get to our blessings. Where I walk you down my journey and what I've done to be able to improve myself on a regular basis. I speak on the things that I've experienced, the things that I've learned, the things that I've researched and studied, and also in the coming future, we'll have interviews with other people. We used to do this a lot on the podcast in earlier episodes. But we are going to bring that back to be able to give insight and share some different perspectives on self-development, different journeys, to be able to give you some inspiration to start or continue down your journey of self-improvement. Again, it's your brother, Mr. West. As always, every episode is presented and sponsored by the Silent Academy. If you need homeowners assistance, if you're looking to be a homeowner, if you are a homeowner, or you're striving to transition from one home to the next, and you need solutions to be able to do so the proper way, whether it's coming up with a budget to know how much of a home that you can afford. If it's about you having a financial hardship and you're trying to figure out what strategies, what solutions, what options are available that will help you in your time of hardship so that you can overcome that hardship and secure and maintain your home ownership aspirations, visions, and goals that you have for yourself. Be sure to text the word solutions to 804 221 6226. Again, this is presented and sponsored by the Silent Academy, and it's also sponsored by my book, The Three P's, The Keys to Having Better Days. If you're looking to shift your mindset to a growth mindset from a fixed mindset, tap into the book, The Three P's, The Keys to Having Better Days. We talk about peace, positivity, and perspective, how finding peace of mind in the process, finding peace of mind in your transition on your journey, being able to have a positive mindset, be able to focus on those positive thoughts, even though we all have negative thoughts that pop up, but being able to outweigh those negative thoughts with positive thinking, as well as being willing to expand and widen your perspective to be able to get a better understanding of not only yourself, but of others so that we can have a better understanding of our community. So tap in. That's the three P's, the keys to having better days. And we're going to get into another exciting episode today. And today we're talking about the attitude of gratitude. Why we need to be grateful. What is the importance of being grateful? What is there to be grateful for? Why do I need to have gratitude in life? Well, that this particular subject, this particular aspect of life is something that, it can be answered simply. It could be looked at and talked about from a very plain and simplistic viewpoint. But I want you to kind of break down the need and the importance of gratitude, what gratitude has done for me as far as my journey, and why it's become so easy for me to get over the pressures of the day, why it's so important to have gratitude because it keeps you grounded. For me, being grateful for life is the first thing to have gratitude for. I didn't ask to be here. Um, I didn't ask for, um, I really didn't ask for life. So when you think about it, every day is a blessing, regardless of how it may look, regardless of the setbacks that may come your way, regardless of how it may appear from the surface level, anything that you're going through, keyword, going through, it's not stopping you. It's just a moment. It's a moment in time. And if we focus on a moment too long, that's what I speak about in my book, The Three P's, The Keys to Having Better Days. Any day can be a great day. It's all about your perspective and how you look at it. Regardless of what you may see and appears as adversity, whatever may seem to be difficulty, whatever may seem or appear to be a failure, is ultimately shaping you and helping you get to the next level in life. And if you're willing to continue to persevere and endure through those trials, through those tribulations, willing to remain grateful for at least being able to experience what you go through, you'll be able to understand that you're undefeated when it comes to setbacks. You're undefeated when it comes to failures. You're undefeated when it comes to bad moments. You're undefeated when it comes to adversity and difficulty. If you're still here, if you had the opportunity to wake up today, if you're watching this podcast, if you're listening to this podcast, if you have been blessed with the opportunity to open your eyes up and be able to live and be able to take action and be able to improve your life today, that's a reason to be grateful. That's a reason to have some gratitude, because nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed. Many of us, I talked on previous episodes about planning. Yes, we all should have a plan for our life. We should be able to look out and say, what do we aspire to do? We should have some structure, some order, be able to know where we want to go in life. But there's nothing saying that you're for sure going to make it to the next day to be able to execute on what you say, which is why it's so important to cherish the moment, why it's so important to cherish everything that comes with life, and really enjoy whatever experiences you're going through. Many times for me, I got in my head, and I still sometimes struggle with overthinking and stuck in my head on what I should do next and how I should make another move. But I have to understand that just having the opportunity to think, having an opportunity to learn something new, not only about myself, but about the world around me, be able to continue to move forward, that's a blessing. Anything that may not be going my way is a blessing, because it's not going my way for a reason. And if I'm willing to search and look into this moment and find out what is that thing that I need to learn, what is that part of my life I need to unlock to get to that next level, then I know I can get to the next level. It's not impossible. There's nothing impossible in this world or in this time. Everything is possible. We defeated the impossible when we was given birth. When birth was given to us, when life was given to us, all the impossibilities were destroyed. When this universe was created, all impossibilities were destroyed. So we can't say that anything is impossible. If you're here, if you're thinking, if you're able to move and take action, then it's possible. Are you willing to have the faith and put the work in long enough to make it possible? Are you willing to connect the dots to be able to get to the next side of whatever you may appear to be the unknown? Are you willing to go through that darkness and be able to bring light to the situation? That's the difference between what's possible and what's not possible. But everything is a blessing. And the moment that we understand that the experiences that we have is an opportunity to learn, as you see on my shirt, think, learn, grow. If you have an opportunity to, if you're thinking, you can find an opportunity to learn. If you're learning, you're creating an opportunity to grow. And anything that's not growing is dying. So if you've given another opportunity to grow, then that's a blessing. It may be difficult, there may be pain. It may not be exactly the way you envisioned it in your mind. But just know that the more that you push through, the easier it becomes. The more that you're being willing to be consistent, the more of progress you'll make. So we should be grateful. We should be grateful for the individuals that we come in contact with, because there's something that is placed on that person's heart. There's something that's placed in that person's mind. It's something that's placed in that person's spirit that is there to assist you. You may think, oh, they're coming at me left. They're coming at me wrong. They don't have the best attitude. They offended me. They came at me left, and I don't know how to take it. But they're teaching you something. They may be teaching you patience. They may be teaching you how to stay at peace within yourself, control your anger. This is an opportunity. If you understand and look at things from a more optimistic standpoint, if you try to find the best part of a person, when you try to um, strive to see things from the bright side instead of always looking at things from a negative perspective, you'll be able to understand that there's nothing happening to you. Things are happening for you. So we want to make sure that we understand that gratitude is so important. As I stated earlier, gratitude is how you're able to stay grounded. It keeps us humble. It keeps us on the side of humility because we understand that nothing is promised. We didn't have to wake up today. No one said, you know what, you got another X amount of years. You got 10, 20 years left on the tank. So, take your time and do what you want to do. We need to cherish every moment because we don't know if tomorrow is going to come. There's someone that did not wake up today. There's someone who had a fatal accident. There's somebody who went through some type of situation that caused them to lose their life. There's someone who lost limbs and lost their ability to see, lost their ability to think, lost their ability to speak, lost their ability to hear. People lose the ability to taste things, and you got COVID, and you got all these different ailments and many setbacks that can show up that may present themselves as obstacles. And if you don't have those particular situation, or you don't have that particular situation presented to you, you should be thankful. We should always be thankful. We should thank God that we have an opportunity to be able to grow through things, not just go through them, but grow through them. And if we're willing to take on that particular task of finding the lesson, we will get the blessing. Everything is a blessing. But see, that's the way I look at things. I look at things like that because for a certain point, I didn't. I mean, I used to beat myself up and sabotage myself when things didn't go the way I wanted it because I said, well, I planned it to go this way, but it's not going that way. So I'm just going to throw my hands up. I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna just not. I'm gonna just start over and do something different instead of understand. Okay, what do I need to learn? What skill set do I need to add to the utility belt? What tool do I need to use? What who do I need to go to get? Who do I need to ask some questions to? Who do I need to go to get some assistance, some advice, some mentorship, some coaching, so that I can overcome this obstacle, get past this particular situation, shift my mindset, shake up my thinking, get uncomfortable. What new environments do I need to get in? When you start to think, you start to find different ways to be able to do things. If you focus on the problem and don't focus on the solution, only thing you're going to see is the problem. But if you focus on the solution to the problem, you focus on trying to find a solution, you'll be able to see it. It's when you're not looking for it, is when you'll never find it. Ask and you shall be answered. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it will be open to you. But are you willing to put in the effort to get the answers? Are you willing to put in the effort to get the resources? Are you willing to put the effort in to find the right environment that's going to contribute to your growth? Or are you going to continue to do what you've always done and just hoping that it's going to change, wishing that it's going to change? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Many times we think, we let our ego and our pride stop us from growing because we feel like, you know what, I'm going to do it my way. We have this individualistic approach. We feel like if I don't figure it out on my own, I'm weak. We think that if we ask for help, then they're going to look at me like I'm weak. No, the wise person, when they realize that they don't know something and they're willing to put themselves in a position to know, they are the ones that will get what they want, get what they need, move forward to the next level. But that arrogant one that feels as if that they have to figure it all out on their own, two things are going to happen. It's either going to delay their progress or they're going to make no progress at all. It's either going to delay their progress or they're going to make no progress at all. Which side of the coin do you want to be on? Me personally, I'm all about progress. Regardless of what the current situation or what the current circumstances is, I understand that whatever I'm going through right now is temporary. It's no telling what tomorrow is going to bring. It's no telling if I'm going to get there, but I know I need to execute today before I even get to that point. One thing about fear, as I've stated before, fear is facing emotions, altering reality. Fear is just you not knowing what's going to happen next. But you're not going to know what's going to happen next if you don't take any action now. We too caught up in what the future's got to hold, but we're not even grateful for the now. We're not grateful for what took place in the past because we're not willing to learn from the past, so we don't keep repeating the same mistakes. Insanity is repeating the same actions, hoping for a new result. expecting a new result, but you're not willing to put in some new actions to be able to get a new result. You're not willing to plan now so that as things present themselves, you can shift what your future will be. I can tell you, if you don't change anything, your future will be the same way it's been right now, or it may be worse. So we have to think about that. We have to really understand and be grateful for everything that we've gone through. Because if you didn't go through it, you wouldn't be aware of what you're aware of now. We are the sum total of our thoughts, actions, deeds, our decisions. If we didn't make the decision that we made in the past, we would not be equipped to be able to make better decisions in the future. If we just think that we're just going to figure it all out, and we think that, oh yeah, I've never been in this experience, so once I get in this experience, I'm going to be able to get through it with a straight A. No, we got to be willing to fail in order to succeed, because a failure is something that's going to set you up for success. But if you're not grateful for the failures, if you're not thankful, like, oh man, I'm glad I went through that, because now the next time I go through it, the next time that I see this particular obstacle, the next time I see my brother or my sister going through this, I can let them know, hey, watch out, it's a pothole right there. Because I tore my car up last time I drove down that street. So be careful. Make sure you got your headlights on. Make sure you're not speeding down this street, man. There's always a police officer sitting right there that's watching. So you want to make sure, they're in the cut. See, these type of things, if you didn't go through that particular experience, then you'll be moving through very ignorant. You'll be moving very gullible. You're vulnerable for things to happen over and over again if you're not willing to learn the lesson. So you have to be willing to go through certain things. You have to be willing to take some bruises. You got to be willing to go through certain setbacks and failures so that you can set yourself up for success. Wisdom is from experience. Anybody can attain knowledge, but if you're not willing to apply that knowledge to gain wisdom, you realize, okay, if you want to cook a meal, you may realize, okay, the recipe says this, that, and the third. If you want to think that you just can do it by yourself, and you want to say, it says I need to put a teaspoon of salt, or I need to put this particular amount of butter in there, but you say, no, I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna do this. Okay, go ahead and try it out. When you realize that it doesn't come out the way you want to, now you got some experience. Now you can say, you know what? I should really go by the cookbook and what it say. I should go by the recipe exactly how it say and see how that come out. But when you do that, now you can tell the next person, yeah, hey, make sure you got 1 cup of this, 1 tablespoon of that, 1 teaspoon of this. Make sure you get these particular onions, get this particular celery, because if you don't, you're gonna have this particular outcome. So now you've set yourself up for success. You've also better equipped yourself for the next person that may ask you a question. Who would want to ask you a question if you're not willing to experience? You have zero experience. When you're looking for a job, they want experience. Yeah, you can have a degree. They may say, okay, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, but then they say relevant experience. You need to have experience, meaning that you went through some things. You've been able to put your hands on and say, okay, yeah, this is how it goes. This is the way it works. This is what I've went through. This is what I've experienced. Yeah, I may have got all the book knowledge, but do you have any common sense? Do you have any experience, some real world experience to be able to say that what you know actually is tried and true? So we got to be grateful for the opportunities that we had, because if we didn't go through that, we wouldn't be ready for the next. So we go back to fear. We go back to the facing of emotions that's altering your reality. Are you grateful for that feeling that you get when things are unknown, when you have that anxiety? You should be grateful for that anxiety, because that's letting you know, okay, I'm out of my comfort zone now. Okay, I'm doing something different now. I'm not doing what I always did. See, this, it don't make you nervous when you do what you always do, because you've always been doing it and you've been always getting that same result. Now you can either have some resentment for why you're not getting your way. You're not getting your way because you in your way. Because you're not grateful for the blessings that have come along. You're not grateful for those who have been willing to give you advice. You're not grateful for the blessing that you've already received. So when the next blessing coming your way, you don't know what it looks like. You don't know how to distinguish between an opportunity and a distraction, because you're not willing to take some action. So you think everything that's coming your way is an opportunity. It may be a distraction away from your goal. But you can know that based off of experience. You can know that based off of taking action. You may have to take some things that may appear to be an opportunity, find out as a distraction. So now the next time somebody presents something that's an opportunity, you're gonna ask some more questions. You're gonna ask some questions. Okay, what's involved in that? How does this align with my principles? How does this align with my vision? How does this align with my goals? How is this going to help improve my habits? How is this going to help my, my thinking ability? What skill set am I going to learn that's going to set me up for success and what my overall purpose is? Instead of just blindly going with whatever, just because you want to be seen or just because you want to be used or you want to be involved. These are things that you have to ask. And I'm saying that because I asked myself this. The reason why I did this particular podcast, the Silent Conversations podcast, because these are things and conversations that you need to have with yourself. When you think about a silent conversation, that's that conversation you have in your head. That silent conversation is that debate that you have with yourself. When you say, you know what? This particular opportunity, this not really an opportunity for me. Now it is an opportunity. There's some blessing in it. Yeah, I can learn something from this, but is it going to teach me something that's going to advance me, or is it going to teach me that I need to stop doing the same thing I've always been doing? I need to be able to really be myself and not just being what I appear to be. I need to be what I truly am. So we need to be grateful for ourselves. We need to be grateful for life. I say that because life is so precious. And if we don't appreciate life in its fullness, if we're not grateful for the opportunity, grateful for our gifts, if we're not grateful for what we've been blessed to see and the way that we can perceive it, certain things that we are given the ability to pick up on, other people may not pick up on it. When it comes to perspective, I've talked about this before. I may have made a post about it, but you may have a house that's being renovated. A carpenter may go in that same house. A painter may go in that same house. A HVAC tech can go in that house. Electrician, a mason, um, um, electrician can all go into the same house. They're all going to see different problems. But if the electrician go in and not willing to be thankful for the carpenter or be grateful for the HVAC tech or be grateful for the mason or be grateful for the technicians that have different skill sets and they look at it so proud and arrogantly like I know it all. Based off my experience, I know what the house needs. So I don't need the plumber to come in here and do what they're gonna do because I'm the electrician. But yet there's a leaky pipe in here. And when I'm doing this electrical work, I end up putting myself in danger because I'm exposing myself to water being on these exposed wires that I say that I'm coming to fix. But there's another problem here that I can't see because my experience, my perspective is based on electrician. If I'm an HVAC tech, I'm looking at it from the duct work and I'm looking at the AC and the heating and the furnace and the whatnot. I'm not looking at it from the perspective of a carpenter and understanding that I need to make sure that everything is the load bearing walls is where they need to be and so forth. I can't speak too technical on that because I don't know all of that language, but you get the point. If you're just looking from things from your particular perspective and you're not willing to listen to others and you're not grateful that there's other people that have skill sets that you don't have, that if we put them all together, we can get this whole job completed in its best ability. But you have to be grateful for those who have skills that you don't have. You also have to be grateful for the skills that you have that you can present something of value that can be better for the whole team or for the whole project. So everything that comes along in life is a stepping stone that gets us further and makes more progress, allows us to see things from a better perspective. But if we're only looking at things from a vain perspective, if we're thinking that we're entitled to life and we're entitled to live a certain lifestyle based off of what we think we know, and we put ourselves in a position to be vulnerable to be taken advantage of by life. We allowing life to take us and do whatever it pleases instead of us owning up to what we can do, being grateful for what we have and being grateful for what we don't have at the moment because there may be a reason behind that. There may be something that we need to learn with the absence of something so that when we do receive it in abundance, we know how to appreciate it. There's a lesson and a blessing in everything. But if we're not grateful for what we already have, if we're not grateful for what we've already experienced, if we're not grateful for what we've been through, then who's to say that's going to allow us to get to the next level? Who's to say that when we do receive a blessing that we're not going to fumble it in the future because we feel like everything is handed to us? So we want to stay grateful. We want to stay honest with ourselves. We want to stay grounded. We want to stay realistic yet optimistic. We want to stay appreciative. There's nothing wrong with understanding the difference between appreciation and entitlement. Many of us feel entitled that because things come so instantly that when things have a bit of a delay from our perspective that we think is not going our way. When all actuality, there could be a lesson that we need to learn that until we learn that lesson, we're not going to be able to pass go. We're not going to be able to move forward in life until we are able to see the reality that, okay, I need to learn that. Okay, I need to experience something else. I need a new skill set I need to add in. Maybe I need to build a team so that I can get to this next level. Maybe my vision is so big that I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. Maybe this goal is so vast. Maybe this goal is so impactful that I need a whole crew of individuals that have different skill sets that we can be able to move forward. Then we need to, when we do find the right people, we need to be grateful that those individuals are willing to even step in and help us. Everything is a reason to be thankful for it. But we need to be thankful to God first, because if it weren't for God, nothing would be possible. But because we've been blessed, because we've been given the opportunity, because we've been able to experience things, now we can move forward and we can help someone else. So we have to stay grateful. We have to keep an attitude of gratitude. Anytime you feeling bad, you feeling down, you need to be able to look back and say, man, I done been through worse. I done been through similar situations. I done had these feelings before and I got over them. I got to remember that. I got to be grateful for at least having the ability to experience it because somebody didn't wake up today. You know, none of this is promised. And I want us to think about that because that's something that I have to continue to remind myself as well, because we can get caught up in the motions. We can get caught up in the moments and not realize everything else that we've been able to be blessed to do. Me personally, I think about for myself, there's been so many opportunities I probably could have lost my life. There's so many opportunities I could have threw my life away, been in jail, had all types of situations go on in my life that could have really just set me back severely in a real way. But I was fortunate enough by the grace of Allah to be able to advance past that, come out of a lot of situations unscathed. It may still have been traumatic for me from a mental and emotional standpoint, but from a physical standpoint, I was able to survive through that. I was able to move past that, you know? So I have to be grateful for that. I have to be grateful that certain things that came my way, I made certain decisions that didn't cause me to fall back. I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. I'm grateful for what I'm experiencing right now. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to forgive myself and move forward. I don't live in the past as much as I used to. I'm still working on myself. I'm still striving to improve my example. I'm still striving to forgive myself further. I'm still striving to do better. I'm still striving to be able to always stay forward thinking, not so caught up in my head, not overthinking so much, not thinking so low of myself and devaluing myself based off my actions and my thoughts. So it's an ongoing process, but I know I'm more further along now than I was yesterday. 1% better every day makes it 365% better in a year. Are you willing to improve every day? Not looking back in the past from a standpoint of resentment or criticism, but looking in the past to be able to say, man, thank you, God, for allowing me to be able to move forward. Thank you for allowing me to get through that. Thank you for allowing me to experience that. So next time I'm presented with this distraction, the next time I'm presented with this temptation, the next time I'm presented with this decision, I'm going to make a better one. I'm going to make a wiser decision with your help. Because we don't have to do this alone. For one, we don't do anything alone. We may think that we doing something, but we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything without the will of Allah. If we strive to do that, We may make the wrong decisions, but because we don't understand the full picture, we don't realize the hidden hand of certain things. We may cause our own setbacks, but even in the setback, it's a setup because it's like, okay, I bumped my head. Okay, now I know. But you may bump your head again, but it's like, okay, eventually you'll learn that lesson if you want to. If you don't want to learn the lesson, then you'll keep bumping your head and maybe you won't. For me, I look at it from that perspective that, okay, if I bump my head, if I slip up, if I fall, I'm going to get up though. And I'm going to strive to not do the same thing again. I'm going to strive to improve. I'm going to strive to move forward. So it's something to think about. It's something to think about. So I'm not going to belabor the point, but I wanted us to understand gratitude. I wanted us to understand that it's something that we should keep in the forefront of our mind. We should always wake up every day being thankful and grateful for the opportunity because it's not promised and we're not guaranteed. We're not guaranteed to do so. I'm recording tonight on a Sunday. Yesterday was my daughter's birthday, so I did not record yesterday. But we still gonna get it done. There's no excuse. The work still got to get done. you know we still moving forward. We still striving for consistency. We still striving to be able to provide as much value as possible. If you are enjoying these particular episodes, I definitely recommend that you subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell so that you're notified when we go live. We're striving to be able to improve and have more episodes up, put more videos up. We're going to be teaching and talking more about money management and home ownership on the podcast as well. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have some people on the podcast to be able to give you give you some perspectives, some different insights on how to grow, how to improve different aspects of life, whether it's business, finances, just personal development in general, just becoming a better man, a better woman, becoming a better parent, being a better spouse, a better business partner, whatever it may be. I'll strive to be able to provide a platform and a space where we can grow and learn from each other. Each one teach one, we all can reach one. Everybody has something that they can add of value. Everybody's been through something as far as experience that someone may have gone through similarly or will go through in the future. And if we can be able to provide an opportunity to shed light on that, it could help somebody avoid certain pitfalls, avoid certain obstacles and setbacks that can allow them to move forward and make some more progress in their life. So that's what we strive to do with the Silent Conversations podcast. It's your brother, Mr. West. I appreciate you tapping in again for another episode. This is episode 43, Attitude of Gratitude, why we need to be grateful. So I would like for you in the comments, say, what are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for today? That's what we want to think about. As always, please follow your brother on Instagram and TikTok. I am Mr. West, or you can follow me on Twitter. I am _ Mr. West. Let me know your thoughts on the podcast. Let me know your thoughts on what you want to build on as well. Shoot me a DM. You can always text me 804-221-6226. Text the word solutions if you need help in home ownership. If you're a new homeowner or striving to become a homeowner and you just want to understand how to go about the process in the right way, get the right proper education so that you can keep your home when you do acquire your home. The goal is to be able to be as successful as possible when it comes to home ownership. Also, you need help with your budget. Right now, if you go to my Instagram, you click the link in my bio, you can get a free budget calculator. We need to be able to manage our money properly. We need to be able to get a grip over our spending habits so that we can reach the financial goals that we have for ourselves, and we don't put ourselves in a position where we're stressed about things that we really could control. There's no need for us to live paycheck to paycheck if we understand what our bills are. We understand how much we can afford and what we can't afford. We understand where our limits are, with the limits that we need to put on ourselves. Financial discipline, financial consistency, financial literacy. We need these aspects of life to be able to move forward, especially us in the black and brown community. We need to understand how to use money. We need to understand how to control ourselves when it comes to money as well. We live in a time where it's easy to make money and it's easy to lose money just as fast. So we need to understand how to be disciplined, how to be consistent, and be as literate as we can in finances so that we don't get taken advantage of further as we move forward. As always, is presented by the presented by the Silent Academy. Again, if you need assistance in home ownership, money management, being able to maintain your home, looking for education, if you're a new aspiring homeowner, or if you're a new homeowner, you just need to understand the language of a mortgage, or understanding what it would take to be able to transition from one home to the next in the proper way so that you don't damage yourself or put yourself in a compromising position. Text the word solutions to 804-221-6226. If you would like to get a copy of my book, The Three P's, The Keys to Having Better Days, text the word book to 804-221-6226. And as always, it's your brother, Mr. West, tapping in with you, and I will see you next week. And I appreciate you tapping into the Silent Conversations podcast. Peace.